This time of year in South Georgia, reptiles are still proving pretty difficult to find. We're having some chilly nighttime temperatures, and that's keeping most everything underground and still fairly dormant. However, we've also got some recent rain, and that is bringing the amphibians out in full force. We're hearing tons of frogs at night and new species by the day, it seems. So I'm out here on the edge of the Ocmulgee River floodplain, and today I'm going to be looking for salamanders. So let's go see what I can find. So what I'm doing is essentially walking from log to log and carefully flipping them and checking underneath. And here you can see the underside of this log is still very, very damp. It holds a lot of moisture and it's very cool. So this is an ideal microhabitat for salamanders where they can escape the sun and stay moist without drying out. So after I'm done searching, I'm just going to carefully put the log back to make sure that the microhabitat stays intact. And then we'll go on to the next one. There's plenty of logs and debris to flip out here next to this floodplain pool. I hear a lot of frogs calling, so I expect I'll find something pretty soon. We'll keep going. Now here we've got a shell of a box turtle. It's been here a little while, but it's still got scoots on most of the carapace, so it's probably not too old. Pretty good sized box turtle. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Marbled salamander. Oh, come here, little buddy. All right. Marbled salamander. One of my favorites. Very cool. So here we go. The marbled salamander, Ambystoma opacum. Now this is a close relative to the eastern tiger salamander that I showed you last month. However, this species, as you can see, is much smaller. This is an adult female, and she won't get much bigger than this. Now this past fall, she would have wandered into this low area where all this water is now. It would have been dry. She would have found a piece of cover to lay her eggs under. And after laying her eggs, she would have actually curled up and guarded them until rains fell and inundated the wetland. At that point, she leaves the eggs to hatch and the larvae to fend for themselves. But it is very cool that this species exhibits parental care, which is pretty rare in this genus. So that's one thing that makes this salamander really neat. Another cool thing about this species is it displays sexual dimorphism. So if I look at this salamander here, it's really easy for me to tell it's a female by looking at the light bars going down its back. That dorsal pattern in females is going to be a silvery gray. Now if this was a male salamander, he'd still have that same pattern, but it'd be much brighter. It'd be almost white. So it's a very easy way to tell them apart. These marbled salamanders can be incredibly abundant in these hardwood-dominated lowlands, and they're actually one of the most commonly seen Ambystoma species as well. If you think about tiger salamanders and spotted salamanders, you can find them during the breeding season, but then after they're done, they retreat underground and you can't see them for the rest of the year. However, these guys, they can be found under cover objects in these lowland areas and on the margins of swamps almost year-round. Even in the summer months, as long as there's moisture in the soil, they can be found up on the surface, which is really, really neat to actually find one of these salamanders during the summer, because it just doesn't happen with the other Ambystoma species. It's always a treat, and this happens to be one of my favorites, so I never get sick of finding these guys.